If you're new to concealed carry, then there are a few things you must get right in order to carry comfortably, confidently, and effectively. So in this video, I'm going to share the top 5 EDC tips and tricks that helped me when I was a new concealed carrier, and hopefully they'll help you too. My name is Jeremiah. I'm the founder of Modern Protector, and as someone who trains regularly and carries a gun daily, these are the top 5 tips that helped me, not only as a new concealed carrier, but even now, 15 years later, and I hope they'll help you too. So without further ado, let's get into it. So tip number 1 is you want to invest into a quality gun belt. A quality gun belt and a good belt is going to offer rigidity. It's going to offer the ability to hold your firearm up all day long, and it's going to distribute the weight evenly. And it's also going to be comfortable to wear all day because you will most likely be wearing it all day long. Now, I've got a few belts laid out here on the table. I'm going to come around the table here and show you what they look like. So this is one of the belts that I initially tried to carry in. This is a Nike brand belt. I must have got it at Kohl's or something like that. But you can see the buckle is actually broken. So a good quality belt's going to have a sturdy buckle. It's going to have rigidity all the way through, maybe reinforced leather or a nylon webbing type belt. Now the belt that I currently carry in, it's actually a 511 scuba webbing, so it's got lots and lots of sturdiness. This belt is about 3 years old, and it's still very sturdy. You don't need to have any specific brand. I'll tell you that one of the belts that I'm really excited about getting here in the near future is, I've heard it called the Agonic belt, and one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to getting it is it's supposed to have some flexibility in it to allow the gun, when you carry it, to move and to flex with your body. But a normal belt like you pick up from, say, Walmart or your department stores, this is a, I'm going to say this wrong, but it's a Hermes belt or Hermes belt or something that I bought when I was in Singapore one time. And that belt is absolute crap for carrying a gun. Now, the only reason I have this other one out here, this is actually an inner belt to my battle belt. And this belt is not extremely sturdy, although it does have some good scuba webbing on the inside. This is a decent belt to carry in, but I like the hook and loop type a little bit better than the Velcro attachment. So just keep in mind that a good sturdy belt is going to give you the ability to carry your gun all day long. You'll want to pick something that's comfortable, and you'll want to pick something that's got some good sturdiness to it. So maybe like a reinforced, like I mentioned, a reinforced leather belt. 511 makes some pretty decent reinforced leather belts. Something that's going to have maybe like a steel lining on the inside or a metal lining on the inside. But you want to get something that's going to be sturdy. A normal belt, that's the biggest thing to understand, is a normal belt is not going to be able to carry your firearm, especially all day long, and you'll be burning through those belts left and right if you do try to do that. So go ahead and spend the money up front and invest into a quality gun belt. I mean, we're talking maybe $50, $60. So if you're going to be buying, you know, a $500, $600 gun, 10% of that should probably go into a good quality belt. Now, one thing that I just forgot to mention is on the topic of the positioning of the buckle. So you'll notice here that my buckle is off to the left side. When I carry my gun, I normally carry my holster right here in the appendix position. So when I stick my gun in there, I don't want the buckle to interfere with the holster. And I used to try to put the buckle right in between the little loops, and this is an awkward position. I know you guys are looking at me like, what is he doing? But I used to try to put the buckle right here in the middle of the clips that go down, and it would actually protrude out quite a bit. So it was an awkward look. But I stick the buckle off to the side, and that's not a bad thing to do, right? If you know, say you're out in public and you got to go to the bathroom, you can just undo the buckle, and that gives you a little bit more flexibility there to maneuver your holster around, take it out if need be. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, like what to do in public whenever you do have to go use the bathroom if you're carrying a gun, especially in the appendix position. All right, so point number 2 is going to be getting the proper pant size. Now, most people overlook what sizing to get whenever you're going to be carrying a gun concealed, and if you're going to be carrying inside the waistband, you're going to want to go up one size in pants. Now, I know there's a lot of pant manufacturers out there, a lot of companies that are making like the stretchy fabric, and those are pretty good to get. For me, I'm a little bit more of like a true denim type person, and I do like having a good quality pair of pants. However, sometimes you may want to get, if you're the skinny jeans type of person, that's not necessarily me. I mean, I like a little bit more of a straight cut or a minimal taper, but getting the proper pair of pant size is extremely important, as well as the proper belt, right? Because if you normally wear, say, like a 32 in jeans, you're probably going to need to go up to a 34 if you're going to be carrying inside the waistband, which is going to mean that you're going to have to get a little bit slightly bigger belt size as well. So don't overlook the size of jeans that you're wearing or the size of pants that you're wearing. Go up one size to ensure that you have a comfortable fit whenever you're carrying your firearm. All right, so the next tip here is choosing the proper holster for the gun that you're going to be carrying. There's multiple different options out there. You know, whether you decide to carry inside the waistband, outside the waistband, a good holster is going to provide plenty of retention. It's going to provide good trigger guard coverage. A really good holster is going to give you adjustable ride height, so that way you can, raise the gun up or lower it down, maybe do a little bit deeper concealment. What I've got laid out here on the table are actually quite a few different holsters, and I've got, a T-Rex arms holster. I've got a Tier 1 concealed holster. I've got a holster from Gritter over in North Richland Hills, Texas. They sell holsters. I have a holster that I had made at a gun show. And what I would encourage all of you newer concealed carriers to do is pick, I would say, don't cheap out on your holster, right? And this is the biggest thing. When I was a new concealed carrier, I wanted to get the cheapest holster so that way I could have an outside the waistband, an inside the waistband, and multiple different types of holsters for the different firearms that I had. And now I stick with my Tier 1 concealed, and this is the primary holster that I carry. This is a much more expensive holster. The holster and magazine combo together with the way that I have it set up is about $180. But there again, it goes back to like 10% of the gun purchase on the belt. You want to spend about 20 to 25% of the gun purchase on a good quality holster. Now this is my Shadow Systems Glock 19 combo mashup. Maybe we'll do something on that soon. But let me come around here and show you this Tier 1 concealed. You can see here that it is a mag caddy that it goes attached to the holster. There is adjustable ride height on the clips so that you can, decide how deep you want the mag carrier to be, how deep you want the holster to be. This Gritter holster that I've got right here, this is for a SIG 365 XL. Also really good. It's got a little leather backing and gives a little bit of flexibility with it. But there again, you have the adjustable ride height so you can choose how deep you want that to go. Now, let me show you this one, and you can see this is a T-Rex arms holster. Deeper, not so deep. Now, why do I have this side set up like this? Well, as a lefty, when I was going in to grab the gun, I continually kept hitting my knuckle on that clip. So that adjustable ride height makes a huge difference for you to be able to grab that gun and pull it out of the holster, right? So these little wedge clips, or I can't remember what these things are called, but I've got one on my Tier 1 concealed here as well. And what that does, when the gun is sitting against the belt, it actually lets the belt push against the gun and hold it tighter to your body. So that's going to give you a little bit more tightness to the body and concealment. There again, you can see most of these holsters, they've got that adjustable ride height, and they have that claw. There's many different manufacturers call them different things, but you'll want something that's going to give you adjustable ride height, something that's going to give you the ability to keep it close and tight to your body. And you're also going to want something that provides good retention, right? That gun is not coming out of that holster unless I absolutely need it to, and then I can pull it out. Same thing with these little holsters here. Good retention. It's not going to fall out. Now, Uncle Mike's, DeSantis, some of these larger holster manufacturers that make like off-the-shelf holsters, they're not going to be the best holsters for you. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but I don't have any leather holsters out here on my table. And that's because I'm not a fan of leather holsters. I don't believe that they provide the type of retention necessary. I don't believe that they give you the maximum draw speed. With something like this Tier 1 concealed, when I've got this holster in the belt, it's tight. And I notice I didn't have to adjust my belt there at all. I kind of keep my belt a little bit loose. I've got that point where, you know, I know exactly where I can stick my holster in and out. But when I pull that gun out, that holster didn't move even a little bit. And when I put it back in, there's some positive retention where if I do get into a scuffle, if I'm on the ground, nothing's falling out of that holster. There again, I mentioned about having proper trigger guard coverage. So each one of these holsters needs to cover the trigger guard all the way so that you don't have any kind of accidental discharge going off for any reason whatsoever. Now, I like the holsters that have a mag caddy attached to them or that they come with one. Like I mentioned in one of my other videos, I carry this Tier 1 concealed holster, and I usually set the magazine carrier off to the side and cant it so that I have my extra ammunition with me there. But one thing to consider as a new concealed carrier is you're going to invest into a quality holster. It's going to be an investment. You don't want to go out and buy a cheap holster and a cheap belt for a nice expensive gun that's going to end up falling down on the ground because you didn't invest into the right belt and the right holster. So far we've got the right belt, the right pant size, the right holster, and those three things are going to set you up for really good success. But the next point in this is actually having the proper ammunition. And I'll never forget, I was doing a class, or I was, talking with someone, and they asked me a question about their handgun, and I said, well, let me see it. And I unloaded it for them, and they had target ammunition in them. So what I've got right here, this is some PMC 115 grain PMC bronze. This is a full metal jacket. I'll come around again and show you. It's a full metal jacket. That is target ammunition. Okay, some people call that ball. Some people call it FMJ. It is a full metal jacket. This is not the kind of ammunition that you want to carry around with you on a daily basis. This is what goes in my gun sometimes. Other times I've got the SIG ammo in there. Other times it's spear. But this is a 124 grain hollow point. So if you're new to concealed carry and you don't know what type of ammunition to buy, then send me a message. Let me know what kind of gun that you have. I'll give you a recommendation on ammunition. But a while back when I had a buddy that was working as a ballistics engineer, he said every 9mm gun is designed around the 124 grain load. So why do I have 124 grain? And that's usually what I buy, because every 9mm handgun is designed around 124 grain. Every 40 caliber, I think he said, was designed around the 185 grain or something like that. And every 45 caliber was designed around a 230 grain. So, and I think that the 380 or 38, 380 was designed around like the 95 grain. So you can look into your recommended manufacturer specs of what your handgun is requiring. Also look into the break-in period, but with the proper ammunition, you never want to be carrying your handgun with full metal jackets, because these will go right through a soft target and hit the person or whatever's behind them, and then you could be liable for a lawsuit on that. So You got to remember every single round that leaves your firearm in a self-defense situation should carry about a $10,000 price tag on it, because that's what it's going to cost you in legal battle if that goes through someone and you end up having to get sued, or you end up having to fight it in a court battle. So on that topic, make sure you're carrying the proper ammunition. Drop a comment below. Let me know, what kind of ammunition do you carry in your gun? And on that topic of ammunition, what I would always recommend is take a magazine. This is a 15-round magazine, and this is SIG 124 grain ammunition in this, and this is a SIG Sauer. Now, in theory, this ammunition should run through this gun just fine, right? But I'm not going to trust that because that's SIG ammunition and that's a SIG handgun, that ammunition is going to run just fine through that. I'm going to go out and test it. So whatever ammunition you decide to carry, you want to run at least a magazine or two through that gun to verify that it's going to carry. Now, I know 50 rounds of this federal HST premium law enforcement ammunition is like $60. Well, I don't want to run 50 rounds through my handgun just to verify that it's going to work. But if I start running, say, a mag, 2 magazines, and I run into any kind of issues, that ammunition may not be what I'm going to carry in that handgun. I'm going to try something different. So make sure that whatever ammunition you're going to be carrying on your person for self-defense, that you actually run it through your gun prior to carrying it out in your daily life. So the fifth and final tip that I wanted to give is all about the clothing. So you want to dress to conceal your firearm. And I know one of the things back when I was a new concealed carrier, I used to think that people could see my firearm all the time. And fortunately, it wasn't really true. But unfortunately, I was always kind of given away that I had a gun. Like I would, feel like people could see it. And so I was touching it, covering it, maybe trying to put my elbow over it, holding my arms like this if I was carrying appendix position. But in reality, people aren't really concerned or paying attention to whether or not you're carrying a firearm. But on the topic of the types of clothing, darker clothes, sweatshirts, jackets, hoodies, those types of things, obviously that's more for winter carry. But polos that have a darker color or a pattern on them can help break up the outline of your firearm if there is any kind of printing. And then, one thing to consider is you may have to go up a size in your polo or t-shirt if you're planning on carrying in a t-shirt. But for the majority of whatever it is that you choose to wear, the biggest tip that I wanted to give you is practice getting your gun out from that concealment spot. So, in this flannel and this vest, I would want to practice being able to get my gun out from that position and not have too much trouble getting the gun out from a concealed position. So practice, practice, practice. Whatever you choose to wear, darker colors and patterns can really make a huge difference with what you choose to carry. Now, so for a quick recap, we've talked about getting the proper belt, getting the proper pant size, choosing the correct type of holster, making sure you're carrying the proper ammunition, and then with the clothing at that last point. But I want to hear from you in the comments. What are some of your biggest carry issues? So are you concerned about the clothes? Are you concerned about the belt? What are the struggles that you deal with whenever you're looking at carrying your gun on a daily basis? Drop a comment below, and if you got anything out of this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share the video with someone who needs to hear this information, and don't forget, if you hit the bell notification, then you'll be notified whenever a new video comes out, and I've got a lot of new videos coming out. Going to be doing a video on how to choose the proper firearm for concealed carry. We're coming out with our second video of a 4-part series on what it means to be a modern protector. And then, there's many more videos coming out along with some of them that I've already done on how to paint your rifle. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. What videos would you like me to come out with? What do you want to hear? What kind of things do you want to see? And let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Have a great day and God bless.